Hi Virgo, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carole and this is going to be a general reading for you for April 2026. And Virgo, you have no idea how happy I am to sit down and do your video. I apologize that it's sort of been sitting out there in limbo for you. I know I have a lot of the other signs done, but I have 5 more to go. But I'm caught up in the middle of selling my home and purchasing a home, and I had to put all my tarot stuff away. As you see, I've had to take down my wallpaper behind me. I tried to explain to the realtor what it was, but he wasn't having anything with it. So he highly suggested for me to take it down. So I did. I'm hoping to move it to my next place, and it's a peel and stick wallpaper. So I hope it's gonna stay up for me. But we're here to do your reading today. So I'm excited about it. April is a very, very powerful month for us energetically, and obviously I'm taking advantage of that energy and selling my home. So I'm as some of you know, I've been on my own healing journey intensively for 9 years now. I'm a survivor of sexual abuse and trafficking in my own family. And so part of my journey was back in 2020 to get a website done called carolecares.com. And if you go to that website, you'll find my personal tarot readings that I offer you, because I have a Yellow Cardinal page there. And I also have a shamanic healing page. I am a shamanic practitioner. That is a recent gift that has come to me in my own healing journey as I continue to peel back the layers of my healing. And so this month in particular is one where you're going to find the energies are incredible. We've already had a full moon in Libra on the 2nd. And then the 17th's coming in with this incredible, powerful new moon for us. So that, coupled with the fire horse energy of this year, is going to be absolutely incredible. I know on the April 17th date, we have 9 orbiting bodies in Aries, and 7 of them are planets. So Aries is that ignition key. It's the one that's moving us forward. And, you know, Aries energy is something asking you to do something brave and new for yourself. It's like a whole new period of rebirth, right? But there's also a risk that's in there. And believe me, when I had the intuitive nudge, and it came rather quickly actually, and I'm lucky to be still working with my trauma coach, and I can pass it through her. There was a nudge that came through, a particular house came through that I was looking for, and yeah, it just took off from there, but it involved a risk. And so this is what you're asked to do. I'm being disturbed a little bit by my cat that's all of a sudden entered the room. But, and so Aries is like that sign that says, I know who I am. This is who I am, and I'm going to show the world who I am. And so there's going to be some clarity here around, we're looking for in this reading, a clarity around moving forward, whether it's with your career, whether it's with a relationship, your health, your spirituality. And so it could be like a physical move like I'm doing, a spiritual move. So we're going to be looking at what's your next step this month. And I want to know what your next step is. And so right now I'm going to ask the universe. I'm going to ask tarot. And I'm going to be using the Ehrenberg tarot for you right now and clarifying it with the Radiant Rider-Waite deck. And so let's ask tarot, what's your next step, Virgo, this month? What is your next step? What's the universe asking you to do here? 1 card for that. It's thinking. Just warming up my deck. You're the first reading out of the last 5 that I have to do. And it's been difficult, and so I apologize. There was one day in there where I thought I was going to get it done, and it just didn't happen. All right. 1 card for Virgo. We need 1 card for Virgo's next step. There it is. You have the 9 of Wands. It's an interesting card for the next step. We'll see what's tarot wants to let you know about that one. What's blocking you from moving forward? So every time we want to do a next step, we want to take our life into a new direction, there is always huge resistance. And unfortunately, I think the media or the social media, internet likes to say that if you have this huge resistance or this incredible fear to doing something, it's not meant for you. But it's actually the opposite. Believe me, when I was going into purchasing this home and putting my home up for sale, the fear in my system was incredible. And that is, of course, part of the reason as well why I wasn't able to put myself at this table. Because if I'm working through some memories or some emotions, these big emotions that are related to what I'm supposed to do, my next step, I can't come here and read for you because I wouldn't be in my body. Like, I have to be, this is an intuitive reading for you. And in order to do that, I have to be clear. And so I want to know what's blocking you from moving forward. You know, where's the resistance coming from? There's something here that's blocking you. So let's see what that is. Well, you have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. That tells me a lot, for sure. What do I need to heal? What do you need to heal? Right? So you have this thing you want to do. You're feeling blocked. There's a big resistance maybe around it. And you know, you're going to know what this is because this is a general reading. So what do you need to heal? And this card right here is coming from your shadow. It's coming from the unconscious, because when there's something coming up for healing around what it is you need to do, it's related to it, because what you want to do is actually triggering, you know, something that's coming up inside of you. And so this is from childhood or adolescence, and it's your Seven of Wands. Your Seven of Wands. That's an interesting card to come out for your childhood. And let's look at some advice from the tarot now, because this is a healing channel, but you have to remember that your healing journey is exactly that. It's a journey. So it takes time. It's a process, right? I mean, I've been healing intensively for 9 years, and things take time to evolve. For the longest time, I wanted to know what my true purpose was. What's my purpose? What's my purpose? You know, I used to ask my trauma coach that all the time. And then when it comes, it's like, oh my God, I can't do that. And that's why your purpose is never given to you off the bat, because you have to work up to it, because you have to heal inside in order for you to be able to bring that to the world. And so each little step is going towards your purpose. And so let's look at some advice here. How can you heal this on the table right here, right? What's the, and I'm going to offer you, when the tarot will give you their advice, but I'm also going to suggest some videos, a playlist at the end from my other YouTube channel called Carole Cares, where I have a number of videos there for you. So you have the Page of Cups in reverse, and then you have the Five of Swords as advice from the tarot, and that's what they want you to work on. All right, so I'm going to ask now for some clarifiers, and then we can get going on your reading. So let's have some clarifiers for this Nine of Wands right here. A couple cards to clarify. Okay, so you have the Devil in a sideways position, and then you have the Knight of Wands. He's also sitting there kind of sideways. I'll put him upright. Six of Pentacles. Couple of cards for that, please. I love this Radiant Rider Waite deck for clarifying, because I can shuffle quite quickly with it. They're not as small as the mini ones, so it's kind of a little bit step up from these Radiant Rider Waite deck. If you look at the size of these, they're a little bit smaller than these cards up here, but they're great for clarifying. Okay, so one more card for the Six of Pentacles. There we go. Okay, you have the Strength card and the Ten of Pentacles underneath your Six of Pentacles in reverse. Seven of Wands. Couple cards for that to clarify. Ah, oh, these are bending. There we go. Okay. The High Priestess in an upright position, and then you have the Wheel of Fortune sideways. I think it's important to keep cards sideways. I remember watching one reader that did that. Because it's kind of like you're sitting on the fence, right? Where it could go either way. So I do keep them like that. Page of Cups and the Five of Swords. I think I'm only going to need one card here. We'll start off with one cord, and there's your card. Three of Wands. I called it a cord. Okay, so Virgo, your next step. Well, there's some real heavy burdens here that you're sitting with, right? The Nine of Wands talks about this individual that's been through battle. This particular deck takes a snapshot of the Rider-Waite deck. And in particular, they're focusing on that bandage on your head. You know, you've been through a hell of a lot. And I think this reading is here to say, to acknowledge what you've been through right now. Because oftentimes we can downplay what we've been through. Sometimes we think maybe we're the only ones that are going through it, or maybe, and we kind of, because it depends on how much you've been through. I know myself, because I've had so much trauma, it kind of like just kind of, you get to a point sometimes where you just minimize it is the word, I think. And so I think right here, it's like the universe is saying, you've been through a lot, Virgo. You've been through a lot. And so let's get some clarifiers on that. And I think, you know, because it could be referring to, I'm going to go back to it, your career or your relationship, your health, whatever it is, this is you. And maybe you're getting to, like, the Ten of Wands after this card is like the burdens, and this person kind of putting down all their burdens and walking away, right? So I think you're just that close to walking away, whatever it is, because I know that, like, I mean, the Devil card's coming here in sideways, and I'm wondering if the Devil card comes out when it speaks about the ways, the things that we've become attached to numb our pain. And so I think here that you've been through a lot, and I think you're carrying a lot of pain. And the addiction that you've been, or the addictions, right? We can be multi-crossed. We can have, I have had many addictions. My number one addiction is food. And then I've had other ones along the way that I've picked up and, you know, had to work through. I seem to work through them as I work through my stuff, my own trauma. And so this is saying it's time now. I mean, because it's sideways, like I said at the beginning, you know, this could go upwards or this could go in reverse. And I think when this is sideways, it's like, well, it's time here to really, I mean, there's definitely has to be a focus on your part to recognize how you are numbing your pain. And I'm not here to say to you, you know, you got to stop your addiction. You got to give up what you're addicted to. And we all know what we're addicted to. We all know what we spend our time is, whether it's scrolling on the phone, whether it's the phone itself, whether it's the going on Netflix and binging that, whether it's we have some sex addictions, whether we've got alcohol or drugs or, you know, workaholism, whatever it is, you know what it is. But it's time now that you say, okay, I'm numbing my pain with this. And it's the awareness that has to come first. I know I pleaded with my life coach, the one I still have, my trauma life coach. And I said, like, well, what do I do about my eating? Like, what do I do about this eating? Because it's out of control. And, you know, it was always kind of, we kind of set it on the back burner and concentrated on what the pain was underneath here. And so I think that's where you are, is that, let's bring awareness to the fact that you have been numbing out this pain that you're sitting in, because there's a part of you, and this Knight of Wands comes in because the Knight is the freedom fighter. That's what I call it. There's a part of you right now that's carrying a lot of anger. And these Knights want freedom. It's an adolescent part of us. We all have it. And it's like it's just wanting to express itself, but it's feeling very oppressed or controlled. And so I'm wondering if you are feeling that control and people control, you're feeling oppressed. And so what is it in your life that's kind of controlling you? Is it the addiction that's controlling you? Is it your work that's controlling you? Is it someone in your relationship that's controlling you? Because there's a huge part of you that's ready to, I said that Aries energy is ready to get out and express yourself and be you and say, this is who the fuck I am, right? This is who I am under all that pain and under all that oppression that you're feeling of people controlling you. There's a part of you that is dying to rip out and show yourself to the world. And that's where you are, Virgo, right now. And so what is it that's blocking you from doing this? What's blocking you? What's blocking your Knight of Wands that wants to go? It's the Six of Pentacles. And this is something that it's in reverse here, because there's some real denial on your part of looking at this. In an upright position, the Six of Pentacles is talking about someone that has their hand out, right? And remember, this is a snapshot of the Rider-Waite. So these are beggars asking for like 3 coins, 3 pentacles, or, here you are asking for pentacles, a certain amount of coins. And you'll only ask for 3 because you think you're worth 3. When this person has got a whole bag full of coins that they can offer you, but no, I'll just take 3, right? Maybe that's the kind of person you are where, oh no, I wouldn't do that. And so what is the Six of Pentacles? Well, the Six of Pentacles screams of unworthiness, because you have this incredible amount of unworthiness. It's in reverse, but you're denying it and you don't want to look at it. You don't believe that you are worthy enough to go look for another job, to leave this relationship, to go in a new direction, take your life into that step you want to go forward here. So you have some real unworthiness, and unworthiness is the emotion of shame that we carry, right? We're not born with shame, but it's something that's given to us when we're younger, where we're told that we're not good enough, we're not smart enough to do anything, where we're told that we're not pretty enough, and we compare ourselves to other people. And here's the Strength card right here. You just don't feel like you have the strength. And the Strength card is not something talking about physical strength here. It's the Strength card talks about our inner strength, opening up that Pandora's box of shame, right? It's opening up that Pandora's box of your emotions around the situation that you're sitting in. I'm going to see right here what went on with you when you were a child, because when you were a child or an adolescent, that's where our shame came from. And so you're asking to heal this right now. And yes, it's around the situation you're dealing with as an adult, but it comes from something from childhood. We got to go to that core wound, right? And so here's this Strength card of looking at that going inwards and getting in touch with that shame that you need to get in touch with. And so the other thing that it's telling me is, and I've already said it really, is the Ten of Pentacles comes next. And the Ten of Pentacles card is this card of generations, right? It has 3 different generations on this card: an old man and his children and maybe the grandchildren over here. Looks like a family card. It's got some dogs, picture of a family here, and very wise individual that's sitting here, And so there's a lot of wisdom in this card. What's really important is the formation of this, these pentacles, these Ten of Pentacles on this card. They're not just placed there. randomly. It's actually in the formation of the Kabbalistic tree of life from the Jewish culture. And they study their lineage, you know, find out where they came from. It's a study of lineage. This is because this is a healing channel, I call this my generational trauma card. You know, where did your shame come from? Your shame came from the people that raised you, and they got their own shame from the people that raised them. And so from generation to generation, we inherit this shame. And so you have this incredible amount of shame of who you are, where you came from, why you can't step out on your own, whatever the general situation that you're dealing with. You're holding a lot of shame inside of you. And so what needs healing? Let's look at your childhood, what happened to you when you were younger. Well, I think there was a part of you, you know, the Seven of Wands talks about, look at this individual. The snapshot of this Seven of Wands, I love it, is its feet. And a lot of times, I don't know how many times tarot readers will point that out to you. But look at the shoes on this individual's feet, right? 2 different shoes. Maybe when you were younger, you were the kind of person that loved to wear different clothes. Maybe you liked to wear striped socks or whatever it was. Maybe you showed your originality through your clothes or what you wore. Because this is somebody when you were younger that tried to step out and show who they were. I'm going to say you were a non-conformist. You were a type of kid that couldn't relate to other kids. Maybe you couldn't relate to anybody. Maybe you felt very alone. This person's very alone on this pedestal. And all these other people down here, you know, you can see this wand, but the Seven of Wands has all these people down there trying to take you off your pedestal, going, who the hell do you think you are? And you might be hearing that right now. You might be hearing that line in your head. Who the hell do you think you are, Virgo, wanting to do this for yourself right now? Well, guess where that comes from? That comes from the people who raised us. And that's where the shame comes from. Like, who do you think you are? And so somebody when you were younger put you in your place when you tried to come out on that pedestal and wear those 2 different shoes for yourself. It was a very lonely experience for you when you found out that no, people weren't going to accept who you were when you were younger. And so you put it all away, right? And here it is dying to come out right now. Your self-expression wants to get out there, right? He's carrying that wand of creativity, of who you are, of being who you are. And so when you were younger and you were told, no, you know, take that other shoe off and put the right shoe on and go out to the world and show them that you can wear the same kind of shoes, right? Because you're not allowed to go show that you're different. Well, that's where the shame comes in, and that's what you're holding inside of you, is that shame because you weren't allowed to be you. And there's a hell of a lot of grief in there too. When you find out when you're really young that you're not allowed to be you. And so the High Priestess comes in here as a clarifier for this. And the High Priestess is very interesting as a clarifier because who is the High Priestess? Well, the High Priestess represents, she's the first half of the feminine archetype in the major arcana. The second half is the Empress. She represents our intuition. She sits in front of this veil and people think that you can't get through it. But guess what? Everybody has intuition. Everybody can use it. Everybody can access it. But you can't access it unless you're in your body. And our intuition is that gut feeling of knowing who we are. And so when you were younger, you had this sense of who you were. You were freaking different. You were a non-conformist. You wanted to be you. You didn't want to go along with the status quo. You know, you were that one that really tried to maybe rebel against all of this, right? But, and deep down inside, you had this intuition. You knew who you were. Believe it or not, when we were like 4, 5, 6 years old, we were very intuitive. We had a really strong sense of who you were, of who we are. But then that gets all shut down when we were younger. And what happens when our intuition gets shut down? When we're told when we're younger that you can't be that person, well, guess what happens? Well, this Wheel of Fortune comes out. And guess what the Wheel of Fortune did? Here's the Wheel of Fortune. Here, the Wheel of Fortune talks about the Wheel of Life, and things happen. I think of it as a Ferris wheel. It goes round, it lets people off. More people get on. It keeps going. I mean, it's always going to go, right? Until the dude doesn't, the machine shuts down and it's all over for the day. But, the Wheel of Life keeps going and keeps going until you're told otherwise. You're told, no, you can't be that person. And look what happens. Well, there's a real kink. It's a quarter of a turn here for this Wheel of Fortune. Goes in a different direction. This card, the Wheel of Fortune, it's all about changes of circumstances. When you were younger, your circumstances changed when you were told to take that other shoe off and get the right shoe on. And so that's where the shame came from. That's the shame that you're holding on to right now, and the grief that goes along with it, because it's heavy. It's heavy, when you're not allowed to be who you are, but you're really dying to come out right now and show who you really are to the world, Virgo. And so what's the advice from the tarot? Well, here's the Page of Cups and the page in my deck, and it's clarified by the Five of Swords. That's a fascinating card. I'm going to put that down because there's a lot in that one that's coming up right here. So, Page of Cups. Who are the pages in my deck, right? Because this is a healing channel. Well, the pages represent our inner children. And our inner children, we have more than one inner child. I know mainstream psychology likes to say that we just have one, but we have many inner children. They hold our emotions, big emotions from when we were younger. They hold our memories. They hold our truth. I get in touch with my inner children through my journaling. And the reason why it's coming up right here, this inner child of the Page of Cups, is because it needs healing. Our Page of Cups in particular holds a hell of a lot of grief, right? Because it's been told that it's not allowed to be who they want to be. And this card, if I had to pick any card on the table that's the most important one, I'm going to pick this one. Because of all the pages in the deck, there are 4 of them. Of all of them, your inner children, this is the one that you have to get to know. And this is the one that needs to be heard. And you have to feel the emotions that this Page of Cups is holding for you. And what they're holding for you is the grief and the shame of when you were younger. And that's what you have to get in touch with and grieve it like you've never grieved before. And that's how you heal this little part of you right here. And so right behind it is the Five of Swords. And so what's the Five of Swords? Well, take a look at this Five of Swords card. And look how that individual is holding. These aren't the same people right here. You can tell by the different nails on the hand. These aren't the same person. This is someone holding your hand. We talked about at the beginning about the oppression that you may be feeling with this Knight being angry or even like being controlled by someone right here. So the Five of Swords to me is my bullying card, because I'm going to say that maybe you were bullied when you were younger for wearing 2 different kinds of shoes, for wanting to wear different kind of shoes, for being different when you were younger, when someone else saw your shame that you carried because you were told that you were different, or maybe you felt different and told that you weren't allowed to be that person. That shame that you carried, bullies see it, right? They have shame of their own, and then they bully other people because they're trying to get rid of their shame. And so I'm going to say that you were bullied when you were younger, and you could be bullied right now in a workplace, for example. Because if you were bullied when you were younger, whether it's from your parents, kids at school, chances are you continue to be bullied in the workplace, and we choose partners that will bully us and friends that will bully us because we're trying to heal this part of us. And so there's a part of you, a very young part of you, that needs to get angry, that needs to cry, grieve, and because there's so much shame there that you have inherited because you were bullied. Once you work through that shame and that grief that that Page of Cups has right now, there's a new direction for you. You're going to be able to take your life into this new direction. I think you know what it is, because the Three of Wands talks about a plan that you have already. You know where you want to go. You just can't get there right now because you've got this grief and this shame that you have to get to with your inner child. And so I'm going to leave you with a playlist on how to journal, because it's very important that you get in touch with this inner child. Talk to it. Ask it what it needs right now, because ask it, how it feels. Start journaling to this inner part that needs healing, because that's where your pain's coming from. This little Page of Cups is in a lot of pain, carries a lot of pain from childhood, and that's why you continue to numb it out. That's what you're numbing out, is the pain and the shame of this inner child of yours, and you're trying to keep it down, but it wants to come out. It wants to talk to you now through your journaling. So I'll leave that for you. So Virgo, this is a beautiful reading for you. I know there's a lot of pain here, but I hope it explained a lot of what you're going through right now. I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. This is a very difficult journey, the healing journey, but it's the most important one in your life. So take care, and I'll talk soon. Bye.